Hi guys and welcome to my channel. I'm Amanda and we are here with a speed paint of this shoe thing. These shoes or legs on a pumpkin, and I'm so excited because I'm using gouache. It looks like watercolour but it's gouache. Sorry about the flashing in and out. I am putting my arm across the way. I probably should have had that palette at the other side. But I am using very cheap gouache, and by very cheap I mean it was like £3.99 for this gouache. I got 14 colours. I also got 2 brushes that you can see me use right now, but I do end up switching them. They're not actually bad brushes. I just felt more comfortable using brushes with the water in them, the water brushes, just because I did. But yeah, so my thoughts on gouache is that to start with, they're a bit weird to get used to. You have to get used to the way that they lift from the paper when you put other colours on top. You have to get used to the thickness because it is very thick compared to watercolour, and you have to get used to the fact that it's kind of opaque, so if you put a thick gouache on top of something else, it's probably going to cover it right up and there's no like glazing involved. There is if you water it down enough, but you need to be able to do that. Also, I felt it really hard to control the paint, but that's not because of the gouache, that's just because I have really shaky hands. Although I did find that using my left hand was less shaky that day, so I used my left hand a lot at the start of the painting. So yeah, this picture I actually did not make up in my head. I got it from a blog, and I'll tell you what the blog is because I love her pictures. She is so inspiring and I love it. So her name is, or her blog is called A Clothes Horse. I'll put the link in the description below. And I just went through all her pictures, and I usually use her blog pictures for art inspiration only, so I never copy them fully. I always use her poses or her outfits or something in my artwork. I don't use a straight up picture, but I love this picture so much that I just had to paint it. So I'm not going to sell it because obviously another photographer has designed this picture and taken a picture of it, so I'm not going to sell it. I don't sell my artwork anyway, but I just wanted to point out that I did have a reference there, and I didn't want to make it, like, I wasn't going for realism, I wasn't going for making it exactly like the picture. I was just going for fun because this is gouache. This is the first time I've ever used it before, and like I said, it is cheap gouache, but even though it's cheap gouache, I think it's really good for the price. I mean, £3.99, and I made this beautiful picture. I think it's beautiful anyway. There's obviously problems with it, but whatever. With £3.99 pounds gouache, and the gouache did bubble a little bit. It was a bit weird if you put too much water and you swirled it around to mix the palette in the palette. It took a little bit of getting used to not to make it bubble. And near the start of the video you would have seen that I had a palette there and I was mixing in that palette, but it's not a proper palette. It's basically, this gouache came in tubes and I squeezed it out into the container that the tubes came out of, and then I put the tubes away in a drawer, and then I let the gouache dry. So this wasn't from pure tube paint, and I like it that way because it feels like it's less of a waste. Basically, I don't use as much paint, and yeah, these, you can re-wet these watercolours. So this is today. I'm using the water brushes, and I just think that I can control the water a lot more with these brushes. A lot of people can't. They think that they can control the water a lot less, but I prefer it. In the background, obviously, if you look at the reference photo that I'm going to link you to, the pumpkin was all like bashed up and weird, and at the bottom it was going a bit brown, as you can see. I'm putting it in here. And the background was had leaves and bushes and stuff in the background. I didn't put them in because I just decided that I wanted this part of the drawing to kind of pop out, and I started doing splatters, and the reason for that was because my son said to me, why don't you splatter? So I teach him kind of art terms, and he gives me ideas on what to do sometimes. So yeah, I decided to splatter some greens and yellows and just colours that I had used in the painting in the background. And I did get it on the pumpkin and I got it on the shoes, but it's okay. I fix that later and take a picture. So yeah, it was hard for me to do this. I've never drawn, I always say this in my videos, I've never used gouache, I've never drawn feet before or shoes. I've obviously drawn shoes before, but like I've never did a painting of shoes. I've never did a in-depth drawing of shoes. So I'm pretty happy with the way that this came out, and I think the scale is good as well. I like it. I do. I am actually really happy with this painting, which is something that I hardly ever say, and I should, even if the painting has problems. Obviously paintings are going to have problems, especially when you do them for the first time, but I think that you should be a little bit less harsh on yourself when you're practicing things. And I'm still trying to find the medium that I like to work in the best, and I'm still trying to find the things that I like to paint the best and stuff like that. So I'm trying to share my art journey with you. My videos aren't going to be always, look at this amazing person that can draw this amazing thing and it looks so good. My drawings and paintings and videos are more to do with finding yourself and finding your art style. Well, not my, I hate that, finding your art style, like, it'll come. I don't think I'll ever have an art style that you can say that is that person that did that, because I take a lot of influence from other people. I don't use my imagination enough, basically. I have an imagination, but every time I sit down and think of something that I want to do, somebody's already done it. And that's partly due to me not trying hard enough or whatever. I really do want to make a career out of this art, but it's kind of hard to start, and I am always like, this painting's not good enough to sell or whatever. So yeah, anyway, I'm gonna stop that spiel and I am going to end this video here with a picture coming up so that you can see it a little bit more finished and full. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to comment, like and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye guys. I'm using another finer detailed brush from Raymond's Stationery. I don't know what brand that is though. It is a Royal Soft Grip SG250 in the number 4, and it's covered in red paint right now. So the things that I thought about this was that it was quite hard to layer paint on the canvas. Like, I felt like